Well, g'day throttlers, welcome back to the channel. Today you find me in the brand new studio that I've set up in my garage. Now I've set this up for a number of reasons. Number one, so I can do a lot of work on my motorcycle, on my Royal Enfield Continental GT. Number two, I want to start doing a lot of product reviews. So we've got a great bench set up here where we can review any sort of products that come across the line into our mailbox, and I can share my knowledge and my experience with certain products. But today, we have our 2017 Mazda CX-5 GT. Now we bought this 2 years ago when it was brand new, and during my initial review that I did on this car, I actually said that I was going to do a 3-month owner's update every 3 months, and quite simply I just forgot. And just recently, in one of my recent videos, a gentleman by the name of Peter Green reminded me in no uncertain manner that I was going to make 3-month update videos. And Peter, I'm sorry mate, but here's our final review on the Mazda CX-5, as this Friday we're moving this car on and we're bringing a new car into the Throttle Downunder garage. So this is the final review of the 2017 CX-5 GT, but it's also the preliminary video to introduce the next car that's coming into our garage as part of the Throttle Downunder fleet. Now, as I said, we bought this car brand new in 2017. It's 2 years old now. It's only done 17,000 kilometers. So why are we getting rid of it, you ask? Well, you're going to have to wait and see. But for now, I can tell you that I've absolutely loved this car for the last 2 years. So we're not getting rid of it because we don't want it anymore. We're getting rid of it for a different reason, but stick around and you'll find out. But 17,000 kilometers. My wife's predominantly used it to drive to the railway station and back each day. Just a small commuting run, just like maybe 5Ks each day maximum. But this is the car that we also use on weekend getaways when we go down the coast, up into the Hunter Valley. Anywhere we go, we take this because it's beautiful, it's comfortable, and it fits all of our gear and our dogs as well when we go away for a weekend. So that's partly one of the reasons that we're actually getting rid of it and moving on to another car. But again, you'll find out later about what we might be moving into in the future. All right, so I thought I'd break the review down into two different sections. Essentially, I want to give you the things I love about the CX-5 and the things I dislike about the CX-5. And it's a beautiful sunny day, so I had to get out of the studio and quickly go for a run for some fish and chips for lunch, and then I'll be able to go home and make this video and launch it for you guys. Alright, so let's start off with the things that I love about the 2017 Mazda CX-5 GT. Now, the first thing is comfort. This is a super comfortable car. Beautiful leather seats in the GT model. Obviously the sunroof. Everything that your hands or your arms touch is soft touch. The dashboard is soft. The arms, the window sills are soft. The armrests are soft. The steering wheel is clad in leather, and the whole car is absolutely beautiful. And I really believe, in my opinion, that this model CX-5 and the one above, I think it's called the Akira, rival the German SUV luxury cars for a lot less cost. Now, I think that, again, this is my opinion, but we have friends that have the Audi Q3, the Q5, and I've been in both of them, and in my opinion, they're not that special, and they're not that more luxurious than this CX-5 is, and this is a whole lot more affordable, and it's Japanese, so it's more reliable as well. Now, the second thing that I love about this CX-5 is the styling. Now, again, it's my opinion only, but I really think that Mazda vehicles, the modern Mazda vehicles, are some of the best looking styled cars on the road. The Mazda 3, the Mazda 6, the CX-5, the CX-3. I think that they're some of the nicest looking cars on the road at the moment. So the styling is a really big win for me. So this being the 2017 model, came with a fair bit of tech for the price, but if you are looking at the 2019 version, the tech is upgraded quite substantially, including Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This car doesn't have that, so if that's something that you need to consider, then you need to look at the 2019 model instead. But everything, the stereo is great, sounds great, the navigation is great, although I use Google Maps most of the time anyway. So what are the things that I don't like about this CX-5? Now, I'm a bit of a clean freak when it comes to cars, not necessarily in the house, but definitely when it comes to cars. I like the car to always be nice and clean and immaculately detailed. Now, this model CX-5 has a lot of Paiona Black around the gear knob here, on the outside of the windows, on the door frame, and around where the automatic windows are on the door panels. Now, Paiona Black looks beautiful for about a week, and then after that it gets covered in scratches and fingerprints and it looks horrible. Now, this is just my opinion. Most people probably aren't bothered by that at all, but these modern cars that are putting the Paiona Black plastic around really doesn't impress me at all. It just makes my cleaning OCD very, very stressful. Now, the second thing that I dislike about this model of CX-5 is the engine. Now, the engine's great, don't get me wrong. 2.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, and in general it does everything that you want it to do. So one of the main things that we use this car for is when we go away traveling for a weekend or a holiday, and in general cruising along it cruises at freeway speed very easily, very comfortably, no problems at all, and it's not that loud. A lot of people complain about the cabin noise in the CX-5, and I don't really agree. I think it's not very loud at all. But on the occasions when you're on an uphill overtake, trying to get around a truck or a bus or a bit of traffic, uphill overtake, this engine works very hard to push this heavy body up the hill to overtake. And you really have to wring its neck to get any sort of response out of it. And you often hear the clunk of your foot hitting the bottom when you accelerate. And again, this isn't a big problem. Most people, this wouldn't bother them at all, but I do like a little bit more power. And if you are considering the CX-5 and you do want the more power, bear in mind the 2019 has a turbo. It's exactly the same engine, the 2.5 litre, but it has a turbo on it. So all of the problems that I just explained are completely eradicated in the newer model of the CX-5. So that's something to consider. In particular, if you're towing at all, you can only tow up to 2 ton on here, I think. But if you are towing, that turbo would make all the world of difference. And if you're carrying heavy stuff in the back as well. And lastly, this wasn't a fault of the car, but a fault of the dealer that we bought it from. The paint protection on here has been very, very unsatisfactory. Again, I'm a fanatic when it comes to car cleanliness and car presentation, and the dealer placed paint protection on here was just horrible. Needless to say, the next car is coming from a very different dealer, and yes, it is getting paint protected, but it's not using the same paint protection as this one has. So to wrap it up, in summary, our 2017 Mazda CX-5 GT, it's been a winner on almost every level except for power. We don't regret buying it one little bit, and we've loved every single moment of having it. But it's leaving us on Friday, and there's something new coming into the stable on Friday. And If you're interested in finding out what it is, make sure you hit subscribe below and stay in tune. Next week you'll find out what is replacing our Mazda CX-5 in the Throttle Downunder garage in the coming weeks. Also, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, look for Throttle Downunder on Facebook and Instagram, and you might even find out what it is before the video is launched. Anyway guys, thanks again for watching. Throttle on, and we'll see you soon.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting